Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Just going to show you typical day. First thing I do in the mornings is paint up pages in my journals. And today I'm using red Craft Smart. And my goal is to make a deep pink. And we'll see how that goes. I generally don't mix it up in a plate. I usually just dump it all on the page. It's really about 10 o'clock here now, but usually I used to come in my craft room every morning about 5. And that's because I was already up tending to my mother, so I was already awake by that time. And it don't have to be matchy-matchy all over. Don't let that worry, because that's part of the beauty of it, that it don't match. And you don't even have to get great coverage all over if you want, you know, to leave some white space. Okay, that's journal number 1. Journal number 2. This here is basic medium magenta. This stuff's pretty thick, so, you know, in past videos, I think I told you all to, you know, mix 2 colors together. And, see, and this is the page that's already done, and you see how that's not, the background's not even fully covered. And I could have done the same, but she probably when she done hers, may have went over matte medium or something. Which I would have went over in mine in white had I wanted to leave some white space. It's journal number 2. Journal number 3. Let's see what this does. You know, I think I said in some videos before, I forgot my piece of paper, don't mix a warm color and a cool color. You'll get an uncool color. No, you'll get mud. So don't do that. We don't like mud. Might have got too much. Which I've done that before. Let me see if I could rub some of this off in my other journal. Sorry guys, that's off camera, but I'm trying to get some of it off my brush. Probably have enough to do 3 pages, but you know it's going to dry really quick. I think I will leave that like that. That's journal number 3. Journal number 4. And you know what? I'm not even going to add any more paint. Wished I hadn't went up the middle of the spine either. I think I'm going to leave it like that. Just trying to get any excess out. And we'll leave it at that. And I'll show you, you don't have to cover the whole page for it to look good. I mean, this is supposed to be artistic, not, you know, not first grader-ish looking. Where, you know, everything, what they would color would be the same. I even have this pink here, neon pink. You know, if you want it to be bright, you know, you want it to be bright, buy those bright colors. The only way I know how to get it to be bright. Wish I hadn't went outside of the lines. Because I forgot how opaque this pink was. Okay, gonna dry this and be back in a minute. Okay, and here we are back, and I've dried this somewhat. And I'm going to show you what I would do. I've got this micron pen that we talked about the other day, and this is a number 12. And we're just going to go around. And depending on how thick you like your lines, you know, you may want to use a Posca pen. And this is how I done the one the other day, and you know, and then let's do another one. I've not ever done 2, but we will today. I've not even got a collage for this one as of yet. Let's see how I want to go. You know, I said the other day I had tons of good pictures. And I've still got tons of Diane Reevely collage sheets. And then, you know, I just went along like this the other day. And I was coloring every other one, which I'm not going to color them all with this micro pen. I usually use well, actually, I was using a black Posca pen. And, you know, they're extremely expensive. And I have, you know, tons of markers over there. I noticed that the black Crayola does just as well. Let me see. I think it's right here. I think it does just as good not to, you know, just empty out your more expensive pens. And, you know, I could maybe go with a different color on that one. And, you know, and like I said, all my white ones had, all my white pens had really, all my white pens had dried out. So, I guess I will have to go. This is the number 8. See how thin that line is. I was going to go with my red Posca, which, you know, the bad thing is that you're going to hit the black line, and you would need to have to go back over the black line, which I've done that plenty of times. It all depends on how much time you want to take. But I do a good deal of my crafting in my living room. I prefer to be sitting on the couch crafting for some reason. I don't know why. My husband always says, why do you drag half your craft room in here? I don't even know, I guess. So you can sit in front of the TV. It's kind of like mindless. You're not so honed in on how maybe big a task this is. I don't know, it's like reading a good book. You just like sitting on your couch, all, you know, covered up. And under a warm blanket. Which today it's a little bit cool here, but it's supposed to warm up to in the 70s. And my husband and I were supposed to be leaving Sunday the 27th for Vegas. We used to go to Vegas about one time a year, sometimes twice. And no, we're not rich. We do it on a budget. And you know, a lot of people here in North Carolina will go to Myrtle Beach. And, you know, we've weighed it out, and Myrtle Beach is just as high to go visit as it is to fly away to Vegas. I mean, you can get a room and a flight, for two people, room and flight, somewhere around $1,000 for a week or 5 days, and you can't even do that if you try to book a room in Myrtle Beach for a week and you drive. It's going to be about $1,000. And we've been so many times that we know the ins and outs, and, you know, we have rewards with our credit card. You know, we've accumulated awards for 5 years that I've been watching my mother, so half of our trip is paid for with just rewards. You know, they always say, what's in your wallet? And that's what they mean, that put everything on a credit card, pay it off at the end of every month, and that saves a ton of money. And I'm even thinking about maybe shooting a couple videos out there, and sort of like logging that every day. If I don't, you know, I don't know how it's going to be. You know, back when I was working, my husband and I, we could go out there, and wouldn't be a problem because I was working. I was on my feet 8-10 hours a day, and you know, I already had that part down pat. So when it went to walking 8-10 hours a day out there, that was a piece of cake. But, you know, the past couple years, all of us has been kind of sedentary. I know I have. I wouldn't say I've been sitting at home on my butt, but I've been home and not standing up for no 10 hours a day, that's for sure. So I don't know, and I'm older. I'm 5 years older. So actually, you know, we're getting ready to celebrate my 60th birthday, as a matter of fact. And I don't know if I'm looking forward to it or not looking forward to it. You're as young as you feel. And you know, my husband always says I'm always bopping around here. He said, can you sit down? But, you know, you really don't know in the long run how much better off you are by not sitting around every day, keeping your mind strong. You know, doodling or collaging, whatever. It keeps your mind good and working. That's something my mother, she had slight dementia. Some days she knew where she was, and other days she, you know, had difficulty. And they sent someone over here to assess her, and she didn't even know it was Christmas. And I would take a picture of the tree and take it in there and show her. And she would smile, but, you know, she knew at that point it was Christmas. But then when they asked her, she didn't know what holiday we were riding up on. So that was kind of sad. And plus, my mother is Japanese, and my father's American. And I remember going in there one day, and she was talking to me in Japanese, which I knew nothing of. And it just, hit me like a ton of bricks when I told her. I said, Mom, I said, I don't know Japanese. And she looked at me and she started talking in English. But I'm thinking, oh Lord, what if her brain clicked to all Japanese? I mean, my mother never was one anyway to say a whole lot of words. I mean, she would here the last 5 years spoke, less and less. And a lot of days it was water or hungry. It was one word sentences. So, I wouldn't have had a harder time as some other people would have, because I knew that her speaking, her mind had already got down to minimal. And I knew basically what time of day she would want what. And, but, there at the end, it was no life to live. I mean, she was bedridden. I had to change her 5 times a day, and that might be 12 midnight, that might be 3, or whatever. But sometimes you not only had to change her, you had to change the bed with her in it, and get a whole bathing situation. Go get a hot bucket of water and change her and roll her over and wipe her down and re-wipe her down. And you had to pull, sometimes she had diarrhea, and sometimes you had to pull a whole diaper off of her, and that mess get all over her and all over the bed. And I had pads down, and she wore a diaper, wore a pad. And that's not fun to do. But I have a feeling that's going to become the norm, where we all are taking care of our parents, because these homes that you put them in are very expensive. It's almost like sending someone to college. And plus, for your information, they don't get bathed every day. They might get a sponge bath, but Lord, who knows when she'll get it. She had diarrhea this hour. Who knows when she's going to get that other, they're already short-staffed. They're already going through COVID. And, they were kind of on me to put her in a home. And I thought, there ain't no way that I would do that. I mean, and her get less treatment, and they take all of her money. I'd rather benefit from the money and benefit knowing I took care of my mother. I mean, it's really something to think about, because, like I said, one day we put her in the hospital 5 years ago, and I got the shock of my life when they told me, where does she live? And I said, by herself. And they said, she won't be going home unless she goes home with you. And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't think I heard that. What did you just say? I was numb. I did not know, how would my husband deal with that? Which he had already said, your mother's welcome to live here. And thank God for that, because not everybody's hip to that. And, when I had told my coworkers that's what happened, they said, oh, no, my mother'd go into a home. And I'm thinking, God, I mean, to each his own, but not everybody said they could do that. And I'm like, I felt like I didn't have a choice. I mean, I want to take care of my mother, but, it's not easy. It's not easy on your marriage, by no means. So it's something a lot of people may want to think about, is your mother okay? you may want to have that conversation with your husband. Would you let my mother live here? And furthermore, can you afford to put her in a home? So you may not have that choice. And don't think because if your mother's in her 40s or that can't happen tomorrow. Because I sure was not prepared at all. And here I was working, had a job to go to, and now my whole world just got flipped upside down. I mean, these past few years hasn't been easy on none of us with COVID going on, people's relatives dying daily. And, I mean, we still have people with, you know, COVID going on, and parents aren't leaving the hospital. So I'm pretty sure that this whole thing has been a wake-up call. So, you know, it's lots to think about going through 2022. Just what would I do? And, you know, and I had a brother, you know, I don't think my brother wants to take care of my mother, which I know he don't. And all I have is one son. I don't, you know, if I become incapacitated tomorrow, I don't think I want my son wiping my butt. So, you know, it's lots to think about. So, okay, guys, so I'm going to do the rest of this off camera. And then I'll try to figure out what kind of collage we're going to put on here, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so I finished going around and coloring in the outline, and I went ahead and put the collage together. And turn on some more light as usual. This again, body, different head. And this came out of Variety magazine, and this is also Variety magazine. Just, it don't mean anything, it's just purely for graphics. And I think on one of the pages it had the word join, and I just cut out the letters for graphics. Okay. And then the other day we were talking about, you know, I went ahead and painted up those pages, and then we were talking about how you save these. And I went ahead and put those around this one. Let's see, I got a little bit of a glare on there also. And I think I may go back around, either color these darker with a Posca pen, or either cut these down and make them, you know, to go inside of each of these blocks. And you know, this here was the other day when we were going through my coloring book that I stamped out everything in the book. And I want to point out too, the book that I was speaking of was this drawing book, which is 70-pound paper. But I generally like watercolor paper. Well, it all depends on your application, but watercolor paper, which I believe is 90-pound. And I think, yeah, see, this is much more thicker, and that's why I was using this paper instead of you know, stamping and getting my flowers out of this book. It all depends on you know, what your application is. But you know, this says drawing, the other says watercolor, sometimes it says mixed media. And you know, I just like having all different kinds of things like that. And I wanted to show you guys that, hang on, let me find it. Okay, and, you know, the other day I was showing you all this one, which I've done, probably a month or so back, but, one other thing you can use, if you can't find a design, use good old reinforcement labels. And, you know, I think nowadays you can even buy them in color. But this was, I don't even remember how much I paid. I've had these for a while, 560 count. And, I was going to try to show you all how I went around the, things. And depending on, you know, like I said, I had actually, and then if you don't have the color you like, you could always go over these in Posca marker, which I did. So I went ahead and put those down. And just to show you guys how I go around, I always start back up here, curve around, start where the little and you know, like I said, you can and see, I was trying to use my jelly roll pen and all of them were drying up, but the fact that this was so rough, that's why it wrote. But then they're drying up and they're starting to leave streaks in the middle of the mark. I think I forgot to go around here, That's what you all seen it laying over here. This has been laid out to go on this this page. And once again, this is my Jumpstart journal. This page was not done, and I'm going to show you all another good idea, which I've mentioned, but I think it's worth mentioning again. And you know, we all have those Tim Holtz the little clear stamps. I'm gonna have to go around this one in black, which I knew it wasn't going to show up that well, but there you go. And you know, you can always paint them, or just take a sheet of them and go over them with a watercolor, or just whatever you have. But I want to show you another thing. You know how we all get these Tim Holtz stamps. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I pick one up and it's hard to kind of see what you have. And if you've used that several times in black ink, well, then it's going to be so black you're not really, you know, it's not going to jump out at you, because, you know, the coloring is on that side. And I guess you could turn it up that side, that's fine. But I went one step further in that, I believe I showed you all this before, that all I did was take a, you know, sheet of typing paper or whatever paper you have, and you know, run it through my laminator. and also put this underneath it. Run this through the laminator and laminate over top of it so you can see what you have, and put all these out here. But good Lord, if I had that on top of that, I wouldn't even, you know, I might forget what my design kind of looked like. But that, I think it's just a good way for us older folks that have trouble seeing. I think this helps so much. And, you know, if you just have loose ones, I just throw them on here. And then I want to show you this other trick that, since I was on the thing about throwing things through the laminator, I threw just, you know, I took my Dine Reevely letters and stamped them on here, stuck this under here, and ran it through the laminator, then cut these holes out, you know, with your hole punch. And then when you are ready to use them, all you gotta do is lay it down right there. How easy is that, guys? And I even had one, if I can find it, and I don't know if I think I've shown you all this, it's in a past video, but where all of these were stuck together. You know, the sheet come with all 5 of these. And, you know, I was always having to go to the trouble. If I was doing this one, I would have to tape off these over here. But I know she did that, because if she did separate sheets, she'd have to charge you to do that. So I just took them and ran just a sheet through the laminator, you know, stuck this in between it. But you ever so slightly have to cut it down where it can, you know, be put in between the sheets. And, you know, for someone who doesn't want to have to keep taping off, there you go, once again. And another trick on this one, I had even, you know, punched holes in them, so that if you know, if you want to, see if I can grab that over here. If you want to grab one of these 99-cent things from Dollar Tree, you know, that's a good idea to stick them all in here. That way, keep up with all of them. And this just came from Dollar Tree, but actually, I went to Dollar Tree last night, and it's no longer Dollar Tree, as we know. They said a lot of things were going to $1.25, but when I got there, you know, their stock wasn't even, hasn't been up there for a while. And then when I went last night, they are fully stocked, but things in there were $1.25, $5. I seen pillows in there, and I was feeling of them, saying, wow, those are $1.25. And, you know, it didn't go completely flat. I mean, I was kind of impressed of how big it was, but my husband, who was looking, he said, no, they're not $5. They're not $1.25, they're $5. And they had t-shirts in there, which were $5, which, you know, you can buy $5 t-shirts everywhere, but, you know, the quality of them I thought was really good for $5. It's not no worse than what you would probably find at Walmart or something. I mean, I thought it was good quality t-shirts. I even bought 2 for my trip. And, so, and then another thing, you guys, how I was showing you, trying to figure out which paints I want to use. The other day, you remember I was talking about my Micron pens. how, you know, you can get the size 1. And actually, I used it right here to, you know, do some outlines of things I was planning on doing. And, so these colors here, I want to use these. This one here is fresh lime. This one here is mushy peas, and I'm not in love with it as much as I thought I would be, but I have used it. Here is a Calypso Teal. And Vibrant Turquoise. Let me move these books out the way. And I need to grab, I'm going to grab 4 of these. Guess I might need to put some gloves on. I did go have my nails done, and for my trip, don't want to mess those up. So I thought I'd keep my nails on for the duration of the summer, but really, when your hands are always in glue and stuff like that, it's not a good idea. And even on these, whenever you buy these and they don't stick as well, I buy the strip of Velcro. And just cut me off a square. And that's another good tip. And because they do get gunked up fast. I mean, when you put paint on them and then paint saturates in there, you won't be able to do it too many times. I have to grab me another one. Didn't exactly want to pull my nail off right before I leave to go on vacation. I don't think it's sticking to that one. Okay, this one's a little bit better. Okay, let me put these back. And okay, this is the, well, I actually have Dirty Martini over there too. But I took the little micron pen. Here I am forgetting to put my paper under here too. Again, I get too excited, you guys. And I've done videos on this blocking technique. But then on the other side, I don't normally go down in the fashion like this either. And then again, Diane Reevely, she will do hers by spritzing the paints directly onto the onto the pad over here, and then take her foamy and go over it, which I think I'm going to leave. My intentions was to leave a pink, but I don't know how good this is going to turn out. There we go. That one's much better. Much better. Plus I loaded it up a little bit heavier. Come to think of it, if I thought about it, I probably would have done better off had I took just a white page and done the color blocking instead of going over my pink, which the blue would have been way more vibrant. Would have been way more vibrant. Here's the Dirty Martini, which the fact that it's lighter, more chalky, you know, we spoke about how really you need to mix two together, but like I said, probably had I had just white, and then, you know, you might want to paint your page white to make it even pop even more. I think I'll do one in, I think I might need to go over here with the blue. Wow, it soaked it up fast too. I don't have nothing underneath my page either. Like I've always said, it's just paper. That was a no-no. Okay, we're going to let that dry, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, and here you have it. I went ahead and put all this down. You know, these come from these dilutions thing that come around your journals, and I have a bunch of them, and you know, one come from the Jumpstart journal. I believe it was black bordered all the way around, but I went ahead and cut these out. And now you can just, you know, if you want to make separate little, I was actually supposed to put this down somehow, but I think I really want to make like maybe like little separate, and you don't have to per se stay all inside the border, you know, just play around with it. And maybe if you want it to go the other way, kind of like all these colors. And I had this lady some legs cut out of that, I think it might have been Vogue. Don't know quite if I want to finish it this way or you know, just play around with it and have fun, and just I think I had some intentions there. I can't remember what it was. Oh, here it was. I was putting this funky hand another Diane Reevely collage sheet as well as that. I was putting that funky hand under there. So, you know, there's another great little tip. And if you could, smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.